So Dylan Joyce back on. Blocked! In the end, it blocks the punt and falls on it for a touchdown! Isaiah Jones on the recovery. Got to get to the 8. He's going to take off and run. Mendoza weaves his way first and goal, diving toward the end zone. Touchdown! A century of futility is forgotten. The Indiana Hoosiers are the kings of college football.
This is Keith Sports News, KSN. Wow. What a game. What a national championship game. That's right. Welcome to KSN episode 104. This is another big one. There's a lot of football talk, of course. And, yeah. At first, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to start off the episode of me talking about the NFL Divisional round games. But after that CFP National Championship game, let's talk about that first. So, yeah. Just unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. How about we play some of the Madden NFL music again, shall we? From 13. I've never played any of the college football video games, but I heard that last year or the year before, they finally brought back the video games after 12 years, or not quite, maybe 10 years. That's awesome. All right, this very intense music. I'm getting kind of hot. The shirt that I'm wearing is my Dr. Pepper shirt, the official sponsor of the college football playoff, as well as Cheez-Its. So yeah, I did a live stream of me watching the game, so I want to thank y'all for tuning in and watching the game along with me. Yeah, this game was probably the most unexpected CFP National Championship game ever. You got Miami, number 10 seed. People were doubting this team towards the end of the regular season, but then they were able to still make the playoff. Starting off with a win at Texas A&M on the road. Then they took out the defending national champions, Ohio State, on New Year's Eve night. And a hard-fought game in the Fiesta Bowl against Ole Miss. And they were able to play in their home stadium, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida, for the national championship game. I mean, how awesome was that? Seriously. That's never happened before, I don't think. Then you got an Indiana team, undefeated, with Coach Kirk Cignetti, Heisman Trophy winner Fernando Mendoza. It's just crazy. You know, they won the Big Ten, and their first two playoff games were dominant victories. So these two programs, they showed that they belong in this CFP National Championship game. So it's a shame that a great program had to lose. I wanted Indiana to win only because they have never won it before. I would have cheered for Miami if Indiana wasn't in it. But it would have been cool if Miami were to win the CFP National Championship game in their home city. I'm sure Miami will be back next season. Indiana might be back next season too. So yeah, this game, it's hard to put into words. So, you can watch this game on like 5 different ESPN networks. The first half, I mainly tuned into the Skycast, where there are no commentating, just sounds of the stadium, and you get to hear the marching bands in the background, right? Then the second half, I decided to try the other broadcasts. The Field Pass with Pat McAfee, the ACC Field Pass Network, the Coach's Film Room, and then towards the end of the game, I went to the main broadcast with Kirk Herbstreit, the MVP of football broadcasting, and Chris Fowler, the MVP of ESPN, because he is going to catch a flight to Melbourne, Australia for the Australian Open. Indiana was a 7.5-point favorite, and I thought they would win this by more than 7 points. I predicted the score in my live stream. I predicted 34-17. The big question is, was it going to be a dominant fashion like it was in their last 2 games? Turns out the answer was no. In the first half, 10-0 Indiana. And I'm like, I wonder if this is going to be a shutout. That'd be crazy. In the second half, it was craziness. You heard Chris Fowler's calls at the beginning of this episode. Sometimes I like to play the calls, the well-known crazy plays. And yes, the game was in Miami, so you'd think it'd be like a Miami home game, but no. There were a chunk of Indiana fans. Shout out to the fans. The seats were expensive as hell. So Indiana, Miami got the ball first in the first half. Second half, Indiana got the ball first. All right. Miami was able to score a touchdown to make it 10-7. Mark Fletcher Jr.'s 57-yard run. And I'm like, uh-oh, Miami's back in this game. Then later, Indiana blocked a punt that turned into a touchdown. That's always exciting, because you normally don't see that. By the way, in the first quarter, I believe, Fernando Mendoza took a big hit to the helmet, and people were saying that should have been a penalty. No personal foul call. Kurt Cignetti was not happy about that, and then Fernando, his lip was bloody, and he kept playing. Wow, he is a tough player. And I listened during the halftime. I listened to his Heisman Trophy winner speech on stream, and it was awesome. Fourth quarter was pretty crazy. Miami was able to get back into this game with a touchdown to Mark Fletcher Jr. again, 17-14 Indiana. And then Indiana went down the field in Miami territory. What was it, like 4th and 5? And I'm like, okay, you got to kick the field goal. No, they went for it. I would not have gone for it. I think most people would have kicked the field goal to take the points, but they were somehow able to get the first down and the touchdown. Fernando Mendoza with a 12-yard run was able to squeeze his way into the end zone. That was the play. That was the play of the night right there. But there was still a lot of time left. Still anyone's game here. And then later, Miami got another touchdown to make it 24-21. Also, Miami, they did miss a field goal before halftime. It hit the upright. Had they made that field goal, it would have been tied at 24. Then Indiana got a field goal with 1:42 left, 27-21, and I'm like, uh-oh. Is Miami going to come back and win this game by 1 point? I thought that was going to happen. Because I've seen games like that end. See, if they were to make that field goal, they would have gone for the tying field goal, and this game probably would have gone into overtime, but that was not the case. They had to go for a touchdown, and Carson Beck threw an interception, which led to Indiana winning the national championship. The first team to be 16-0. First time in history, Indiana Hoosiers have won the national championship for the first time in their program history. What a season. What a story. This championship game, this Indiana Hoosiers team will go down in history. People are going to talk about this team forever, as well as Fernando Mendoza and Coach Kirk Cignetti. I was entertained. That's probably one of the best national championship games I've ever seen. 3 years in a row, no SEC team, and I know a lot of people are happy about that. And 3 years in a row, a Big Ten team winning the national championship game. Congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers. And give Miami credit. Miami fought hard. I think a lot of people were happy that this was not a blowout. This was a great, close, hard-fought game. And after the game, I watched the post-game show with Scott Van Pelt. And yeah, it's hard to put into words. Like, Indiana is, for many years, many decades, Indiana is really well known for their basketball program, but now they've taken over football. They showed that they had a undefeated basketball season. Now they just had a undefeated football season. Has that ever happened before? A program that went undefeated in 2 different sports. I don't think that's ever happened before. Wow. That is amazing. Congratulations once again to the Indiana Hoosiers. I'm happy for them. Fernando Mendoza will most likely be the #1 pick in this year's draft. I guess he's going to be a Vegas Raider because the Raiders have the first overall pick. Yeah, not the Jets, not the Jets. Yeah, I wonder how Jets fans feel about that. So, and man, Fernando Mendoza, he can talk. He sounds like a pro wrestler the way he talks. He sounds like he's the baby face. He's the face of the company. You know? He's going to be the next big thing in the NFL. And I hope he succeeds. You know, I hope the Raiders succeed too, because the Raiders, they've been a pretty bad team for many, many years. Fernando Mendoza has a younger brother who is also the backup quarterback. Does this mean he's going to take over as the new Indiana quarterback? And Coach Kirk Cignetti, it only took him 2 years, 2 seasons, just like that. You won the national championship? Wow. Wow. And they had the play of the year, which is when they faced Penn State, the Fernando touchdown pass to Cooper. Somehow he got his foot in bounds with Gus Johnson on the call. I mean, seriously. You know, how about we play that audio one last time? Should we play that audio? Let's play that audio. Here it is.
Mendoza in trouble! It's out! Touchdown! Wow! Oh, Cooper! Unbelievable! Give him the Heisman Trophy now!
And he did. He won the Heisman Trophy. His grandparents are Cuban. Like, wow, he has what a family he has. Seriously. Wow. Man. I'll have to hear what my favorite sports talk podcasts have to say. I wonder, what does Paul Feinbaum have to say? You know, because he's always been the SEC old guy, you know. He wasn't there because there was no SEC team, but he had a show on. Definitely have to hear what he has to say. Yeah, it's amazing. It is amazing. I forgot to put the text in the title. Oops, on my screen. Dang it, I forgot to do that. Oh well. All right, now to the NFL. Divisional rival. Let's play that prime time music again. Yeah, I forgot to put my KSN logo when I was live streaming. Probably because it's been a while since the last stream, which was me watching the Grey Cup. That was 2 months ago. So, yeah. All right. So here we go. Excuse me for a moment. Let's get the primetime music ready. Play that in shuffle mode. These songs, they never get old. They never get old. Here we go. Oop. All right, guys. So now to the NFL divisional round recap. Now you see the text. With those horns, baby. That's what I'm talking about. All right, the first game was Saturday, the afternoon game in the AFC. Buffalo Bills at the Denver Broncos on CBS. I wish this was the, at the time of this game took place, I kind of wish this was the AFC Championship game to go to the Super Bowl. And I really wanted Buffalo to win because they've never won a Super Bowl. And I feel like this is Josh Allen's time. You got no Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. You got no Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. You got no Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Like, those are the big-time AFC quarterbacks along with Josh Allen. So Allen, you know, this is his time. It's either now or never. The game was in Denver. Broncos have the 1 seed, the bye. Okay, so that was the question. How would this team play after getting a bye? Well, home field really matters. I had a feeling that this game would be close, and it was close. Another close game here. I mainly watched the second half. I listened to some of it on radio because I was traveling somewhere to check on something. But I was listening to the game while I was traveling. Alright. Yeah, not really. Let's see here. Looking at the score here, Will Lutz is the Denver kicker. Field goal kicker. Used to be with the Saints, by the way. Remember him. Okay, so Denver got a 3-0 lead, and Buffalo scored a touchdown from Josh Allen. Buffalo up 7-3, second quarter. Denver got a touchdown from Bo Nix. Remember, Bo Nix used to play, I believe he played for Oregon. And I think this is Bo Nix's second season with the in the NFL. That's awesome. Get to the playoffs already. Then Buffalo was able to tie it at 10-10 apiece. Then Denver scored another touchdown. Look at this. Listen to this. With 22 seconds left, they scored a touchdown to make it 17-10, and then they were able to get the ball back. And I believe this was when Josh Allen, he lateraled the ball to a ghost. I read comments about that. And somehow Denver got the ball, and that's how they were able to kick another field goal 20-10, a 50-yard field goal. It's almost like, what the heck was that? Especially in pro football, you know what I'm saying? It's like, ugh. Anyways, second half. Another field goal for Denver, 23-10. Buffalo scored a touchdown, 23-17, and then they scored another one. They took the lead by 1 point in the fourth quarter. And then they scored a field goal, 27-23. And I'm like, okay, there's about 4 minutes left. I think Denver's good. I was like, I think they have plenty of time to score a touchdown. And they did. Denver scored another touchdown, make it 30-27. And I'm like, okay, there's 55 seconds. You can go down the field pretty quick with 3 timeouts to kick a field goal. And that's exactly what they did. And I'm like, uh-oh, are we going to have another wide right situation, another wide right field goal? Thankfully, no. Buffalo was able to tie it up at 30 apiece, and the game went into overtime. And I'm very glad that this overtime rule is not what it used to be, where the first team that gets the ball scores a touchdown, they win the game. I've always hated that rule. I'm glad that it's no longer a thing. I don't know what took them so long to change that. They should have changed it after Super Bowl 51. 9 years ago, So, man, overtime was back and forth. I forgot which team got the ball first, because it's hard to remember, because this was from Saturday. It's now Tuesday. Let's see here. I'm looking. Also, Buffalo had 5 turnovers, which is pretty bad. Actually, no, that's really bad in the postseason. You can't have 5 turnovers in the playoff game. Come on. But the fact that they were able to put 30 points on the board with 5 turnovers is actually impressive, meaning they could win this game, Okay, so in overtime, Denver got the ball first. Okay, so Denver got the ball first. They were stopped. And then they had to punt the ball back to Buffalo. So what they need is a field goal to win the game, because Denver did not get any points on their first drive of overtime. So all Buffalo needed was a field goal. All right. It's weird. In regulation, overtime, you get 10 minutes. But in the playoffs, it's 15. It's like they're starting a new game. Okay. Josh Allen threw an interception. And Denver got the ball back. So what they need is a field goal. All right. And the very, very unfortunate pass interference had to happen. There was like 2 pass interferences. The first one was a bad call, but the second one was obvious. And you know what? People don't like to see how the game ends like that. If you're not a fan of either team, you hate to see a game end deciding on penalties. I get it. And Denver was barely in field goal range, and then the second defensive pass interference happened. 1st and goal, Denver. They don't even need a touchdown. They just kicked the field goal, and then they won the game. Denver wins 33-30. And I'm just like, the Buffalo sports curse continues. That's a shame. That really is a shame. It looked like Buffalo was going to win this game. And then I did that KSN update short. Me talking about the Buffalo curse continuing. I'm surprised that short didn't get a lot of views, but what I said in that short, I'm not making that up. Buffalo really, over 30 years ago, they lost 4 consecutive Super Bowls. Like, how the hell does that happen? Seriously, that is crazy. And they can't even get back into it. With a great quarterback, Josh Allen. Yeah, they had 5 turnovers, which is not good. You know, the national championship game only had 1 turnover. Just 1. Compared to the Buffalo's 5 turnovers. And at the press conference, Josh Allen was crying. And you got to feel for him, man. You got to feel for him. Yeah. And then the breaking news broke with Denver head coach Sean Payton, the former Saints head coach. He said that Bo Nix, he suffered like a broken ankle or something like that, and he's out. He will not be playing. He will not be playing in the AFC Championship game. Like, wow, that sucks even more. I mean, that's crazy. That's like the worst time to get hurt. Oh my gosh. So now we're not going to see Bo Nix in the AFC Championship. It's almost like the wrong, I hate to say this, it's almost like the wrong team won. This just makes the AFC Championship game less exciting. You got no Josh Allen and no Bo Nix. I guess I'm glad that the Buffalo-Denver game wasn't the AFC Championship game, because if that was the case, Denver would be in the Super Bowl without Bo Nix, which would be more bizarre, you know. Well, I guess the Buffalo Bills will not only never win a Super Bowl, but they'll never be in a Super Bowl ever again, it seems like. I hate to say that, but this was... Come on. Come on, man. And some other breaking news broke of their head coach. I'll talk about that later. Let's get into the other games here. So the Saturday night game was the San Francisco 49ers at the Seattle Seahawks. NFC West rivalry showdown. It's weird because the Seahawks' last game was at the 49ers, and they have to play them again. They had to play them again. 49ers came off a big win against the defending Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, which I'm still surprised. I am still surprised the 49ers beat the Eagles in Philly. Then they had to fly all the way across the country again to play their rivals, and wow. Seahawks scored on an opening kickoff touchdown. And to be honest, I didn't really felt like watching that game after the Bills-Broncos game. And I was really confident the Seahawks would win. I didn't thought they would win this game easily. 41-6. Thought they would win maybe by, I don't know, 2 scores. No, they won by 35. This was a beatdown. After that, Seahawks, they proved why they're the best NFC team. But they're also the best NFL team after that. So I don't have much to say about that game because I really wasn't watching it. Sunday's games. Houston Texans at the New England Patriots. This game was in Foxborough. Texans were able to pull off a big win in Pittsburgh. Could they do it again? I didn't thought they would do it again. And I was right. New England won 28-16. It was very cold there. They had some snow there. I heard that CJ Stroud didn't play very well. And I heard that how many turnovers did the Texans got? Oh man, he threw 4 interceptions. That is bad. And I heard that the Texans could have had more turnovers than that. What the heck happened to the Texans? And it's unfortunate. You know what's so weird? What is with the Texans playoff games on ABC and ESPN? Like, look at their playoff history. A lot of their games were on ABC and ESPN. They were on another one. Like, what? Why? And sadly, the Texans never gone to an AFC Championship game. I think they're the only NFL team, I heard or I read, they're the only NFL team to never gone to a conference championship game. And I know they're actually the latest team to join the league. But I think the second team, the team before them that joined, was the Jacksonville Jaguars, and somehow they were able to get into an AFC Championship game. But, yeah. I'm not sure. Are the Texans going to... Is CJ Stroud going to permanently stay with the Texans? You know, he played for Ohio State. You know, I don't know. It's hard to say. New England advances to the AFC Championship game. Seahawks will be hosting the AFC or NFC Championship game, and Broncos will be hosting the AFC Championship game. And the fourth and final game, Sunday. This was the game that I was actually looking forward to the most. LA Rams at the Chicago Bears. What a game. To me, this was the best game. So this game was on NBC and Peacock with Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth on the call. This game was freezing cold. I think it was only like 15 degrees. And it was also snowing quite a bit. And this was my big pick. I wanted the Bears to win because I've never, ever since the Rams beat the Saints in the NFC Championship game 7 years ago, I'm never cheering for the Rams, So, but I did pick the Rams to win. In fact, I did pick the Rams to win the Super Bowl. If any of y'all remember my video bracket on my main channel. One of them, I made 2 brackets. One of them I had the Rams winning the Super Bowl. The other one I had the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl. And that's still a possibility. Matthew Stafford. The question is, how will Matthew Stafford play in the freezing temperatures? It seemed like it didn't really bother him that much. Rams scored first, 7-0 in the first quarter. The Bears' opening drive, they did not kick a field goal. They were in field goal range, and they went for it on 4th down, and they didn't make the first down. Like, come on, you got to kick the field goal. Kick the points. Kick the field goal. It's pretty much automatic points, even if it's in freezing temperatures. Kick the field goal. It's easy points. You need the points, for Pete's sakes. No. I don't know what it is with the Bears head coach going for it a bunch of times. Does he have like Dan Campbell's secret formula or something from the Detroit Lions? They're rivals in the NFC North. But then the second quarter, the Bears scored a touchdown and a field goal, make it the 10-7, and the Rams scored a field goal to make it 10-10 at halftime. No score in the third quarter. Fourth quarter, Rams took the lead, 17-10. And then I'm like, uh-oh, time's ticking. Chicago Bears have to pull off another comeback. And somehow they were able to, with 18 seconds left. Caleb Williams, this was on 4th down. Caleb Williams, oh my goodness, this was the play of the game. This highlight, it's unreal. He was able to escape a sack, and he almost went back to midfield, and he was able to throw a Hail Mary touchdown pass to, what's his name? Cole Kmet. And the Bears, when they scored that touchdown, I was like, after they scored that touchdown, I was like, are they going to go for 2 for the win? But they didn't. They went for the tying extra point, 17-17. Rams got the ball back, and they kneeled down, and overtime. Another overtime game. This was kind of similar to the Denver-Buffalo game, except no stupid penalties. I don't think this game had any stupid penalties. I believe the Rams got the ball first in overtime. Yes, they got the ball first. Alright, so they were stopped. They punted the ball to the Bears. And they went for it on 4th and 1 near midfield, and they got it. Caleb Williams threw an interception, but the Rams were on their own territory, so they have to, move the ball down the field. And they were able to, and they were able to get in field goal range. And they went down the field even more. And that clock kept ticking, and they were able to kick the game-winning field goal to give the Rams the big victory, 20-17. Wow. So there you have it. The divisional round recap games. So after the Buffalo loss, I was like, okay, the team that I will be rooting for now is the Houston Texans. Well, the Texans lost their game. After that, I'm like, all right, guess I'll be rooting for the Chicago Bears. They also lost. Am I cursed or something? So, conference championship games are set. Sunday, 2 p.m. on CBS, Patriots at the Broncos. 5:30 p.m. on Fox, Rams at Seahawks. I really wish Buffalo was in this AFC championship game. Look, I mean, that NFC championship game is going to be something. Rams, Seahawks, NFC West showdown rivalry. It would have been cool if Buffalo was in this. Bills Patriots AFC East rivalry winner take all showdown. That would have been cool. That would be a lot more exciting. It's only because of the Bo Nix injury. No Bo Nix in the AFC Championship game, that just makes this game less exciting. Well, it's a good thing this AFC Championship game is first. I know they alternate. Every year they alternate. Well, I don't want the Rams to win. Even though I pick them to win the Super Bowl in my bracket. I guess the team I'll be rooting for now is New England. Which is very, very unusual. Me rooting for New England. Because I lived through like the second half of the Brady Belichick era in the 2010s, But this is a different team now. I do like Mike Vrabel. He seemed like a cool guy. He used to play for the Patriots with Tom Brady. So I guess it would be pretty cool if they win the Super Bowl, their first Super Bowl without Tom Brady, without Bill Belichick. All right, I'll talk about those games more on Friday's episode of KSN. We got to get into more NFL news, and that is, head coaching, more NFL head coaches news. So I wasn't able to talk about this news in the last episode because I didn't find out about this news until after the episode. But John Harbaugh is now the new New York Giants head coach. Wow. I heard, after he got fired from the Ravens, which I still can't believe he got fired. I heard that he might, become the new Giants head coach, or maybe the new Atlanta Falcons head coach. Giants did not have a good season, although they are better than the Jets. Did they get the third overall pick in the draft? I think they do. Or is it the Tennessee Titans? But I've always liked John Harbaugh. I wish him well. I'm sure the Giants will be better next season, but we'll see how much they'll improve. All right. Brian Dable got fired during the season. So what's next for him? I'll have to listen to the Michael Kay show. I forgot to listen to his show on his thoughts on John Harbaugh being the new New York Giants head coach. The next news, this is the news that I got after or towards the end of the CFP National Championship game, and that is the Tennessee Titans are expecting to hire Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh is, he was, or I guess he is still with the 49ers as their defensive coordinator. He also, before that, he was the New York Jets head coach, which that did not go well with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what to think of this news because I wasn't expecting him to become a head coach again. The Titans, they used to had Mike Vrabel as their coach, and the Titans were a much better team with him. They had one not-so-good season. It wasn't a horrible season, but they fired Mike Vrabel, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And ever since, the Titans suck. And look, Mike Vrabel, first season with the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. I mean, wow. Wow. That just shows you he's a great coach. I mean, hey, Titans, they fired their coach mid-season as well. You got to hire someone, you know. The Vegas Raiders, who are they going to get? Pittsburgh Steelers, Miami Dolphins, you know. And this piece of news broke out yesterday morning, and this is big news. The Buffalo Bills fire Sean McDermott. Wow. Another coach gone. I don't know what to think, because this guy's been the Buffalo head coach for 9 seasons. Joined them in 2017. You know, they made the playoffs pretty much every year when he was their coach. I guess Terry Pegula, the owner, I guess he had enough. He's had enough of the Buffalo curse. Even though Buffalo could have won that game, you know. Wow. So who are they going to get? This is going to be a new era for the Buffalo Bills. A very strange new era, too, because you're getting a new head coach, and their next season will be their first season in that new stadium of theirs. Man. You know, I read a comment before Buffalo's game against Denver. It basically said, how cool would it be if the Buffalo Bills finally go back to the Super Bowl? Josh Allen's first Super Bowl appearance, and the Bills fans would fill up their former stadium one last time while they watch the big game on their big screen. Bills Mafia, one last time on their former stadium. That would have been epic. And maybe it can snow. Like, that would be cool. Them watching the Super Bowl in their old stadium while it's snowing. Dang, man. Also, the same day, or the same night the Bills lost their playoff game, NHL's Sabres also lost that same night, as well as the Buffalo Bulls basketball team. Wow. And now Sean McDermott got fired. This made the Buffalo curse bigger than ever. The owner is Terry Pegula. He has a daughter named Jessica Pegula, who is a great female tennis player. Recent years, she's been in the top 5. The Australian Open has begun, which I'll get into in a little bit. She would go far in these Grand Slams, but she just cannot win a Grand Slam. It's like she has the curse as well. This is crazy. It's NFL and college football. All these coaches, a bunch of coaches left, man. This is a record. This is a record. It just shows you, it's a business. It's a business league, you know. I don't know what to think of Sean McDermott, no longer the head coach. I guess they expect him to be in the Super Bowl. I mean, I guess they were like, Ravens, they fired John Harbaugh. Mike Tomlin resigned for not winning a playoff game in 9 years. Sean McDermott, you can't even go to the AFC Championship game. Can't even go to the Super Bowl. This is unacceptable. You're fired. Wow. That's probably what happened, you know. Wow. Yep, I'm listening to my favorite podcasts. This was actually like the first thing that they talked about. Buffalo Bills, their game, and the Sean McDermott getting fired. Man, oh man. Anyways, I'll hear more people talk about this news. Man. I don't know. I don't even know what to think anymore. It's been a crazy coaching carousel. That's all I can say. All right. I also forgot to mention this in the last episode of KSN. I think it's because my mind was so locked into the football playoffs. But the Australian Open tennis began on Saturday night. When I say Saturday night in the USA, so meaning Sunday afternoon in Australia. So it just started. This is only what? So Saturday, Sunday, Monday. This is only what? Day 4. Well, when I released this, day 3 ended. Okay, so I believe it's only the first round that just happened. The first round, they'll have it in 3 different days, which is a good thing because it used to be, in 2 days, and a lot of times it's just too many matches. Some men's first round matches will go to 5 sets, and, a 5-set match could be around 4 hours, and the match after that, it'll start very late because of that 5-set match, Like one time, I remember a women's match began at 11 p.m. Like, what? Like, who the hell wants to stay up that late to watch the beginning of a match? Like, nah. So, eventually they were able to figure out a way to have the first round in 3 different days. So, the Australian Open, it really is my favorite Grand Slam tournament because I believe it's the first Grand Slam final I watched, which was in 2016. I remember watching the women's final, Angelique Kerber against Serena Williams, which was a great match. And I just like the way the court looks, that blue color. I really like it. I like, what's the name of their, Rod Laver Arena is a really great arena. And, yeah, I've always liked it. I've always say that's my number 1 favorite Grand Slam tournament, and it still is. I mean, I like all 4. I do like all 4, but I think this is the one I enjoy the most, even though it's not easy to watch it live because you have to stay up all night, which, hey, I have stayed up all night before. I mean, I can do that again if I want to when I'm not working. But I have YouTube TV, and it really helps because the best part about YouTube TV is to record, DVR this stuff. But when you watch something that already happened, it's not easy to avoid getting spoiled. It's hard to avoid spoilers, So, anyways, I did watch some of the matches, but now I really watch more of the second half of the tournament. So, like the second week of the tournament when there's the round of 16. It's easier to follow the matches because there are less matches. Unlike now, there's so many. Because it starts with 128 players. You know how March Madness starts with 64 teams? Grand Slams, 64 times 2, 128, So, I heard that Felix Auger-Aliassime, who is, I believe, the 7th seed in the men's side, men's singles, had to quit his match due to an injury, which is very unfortunate for him because he was in the semifinals at last year's U.S. Open. The Canadian youngster. Damn, that's very unfortunate. So let's see. Let's go to the women's side first. So here we go. Let's go back to Saturday. Let's see if there's any big upsets. I haven't really heard too much news, so maybe there wasn't that many big upsets. This match was over 3 hours, a women's side. Women's match, 3 tight sets. It's a French player against a Ukrainian player. Elsa Jacquemot against Marta Kostyuk. 3 tight sets. Jacquemot's from France and Kostyuk is from Ukraine. Kostyuk won the first set 7-6. Tiebreaker 7-4. Jacquemot won the second set 7-6, tiebreaker 7-4, and she also won the third set 7-6, 10-7. Yeah, the final set, if it goes into a tiebreaker, you have to win 10 points. It's a 10-point tiebreaker. Wow. Hard-fought match. Big win for the French player. And Kostyuk is the 20 seed. So people would consider this as an upset. I remember they were showing that on the ESPN broadcast. And I've always enjoyed the ESPN broadcast. Got to hear Patrick McEnroe. Remember, he has a podcast called Holding Court on SiriusXM every Saturday morning. If you want to listen to it live, it's really early in the morning at 6 a.m. It's a 1-hour show. You can call in. But I don't listen to live podcasts because there's just so many that I follow. But I'd say that is my number one favorite 1-hour sports show. It's only on once a week. I wish it was 2 hours. I wish it's like an extra hour longer, or it's on twice a week. 1 hour twice a week. Maybe, Wednesdays and Saturdays. Because it is a tennis podcast, but he also talks about the other big sporting news, which in this case, it's the NFL playoffs. I think he'll talk about the CFP National Championship, his thoughts on that, even though he was already in Australia at the time of that game happening. But I just like the way he talks. He's a great commentator. They were showing he was calling a match with his brother John McEnroe. The McEnroe brothers calling a match together. It's great. And they would be together with Chris Fowler for the men's final. All right, that's Saturday, January 17th for the women's singles. Sunday, I'm looking here. Oh, Venus Williams. Venus Williams was in action. 45-year-old Venus Williams was in action on Sunday. I do remember that. Ah, man, the Filipino player lost. Alexander Ayla, who was in the Miami Open semifinals last year. Okay, Jessica Pegula won. At least she won. She's the 6th seed. Coco Gauff took care of business. She's the 3 seed. Amanda Anisimova, she is the 4 seed. We got quite a bit of American female players in the top 10. That's great. I would like to see an American female win. Here's my prediction. On the women's side, I think Sabalenka is going to win it. I don't know why. I know a lot of times I pick her to win. It's hard to pick against her. I think she's going to win it again. Didn't she win this like 2 or 3 times in a row? I think no. Last year she did not win it. She was in the finals, but she didn't win it. Madison Keys won it last year, which was a great, awesome victory for her. That was great. She had to take out Iga and Sabalenka. We'll see how Madison Keys does. This year's Australian Open as the defending champion. But I got Sabalenka winning on the women's side. Men's side, I'm going to go with Carlos Alcaraz. And I think we're going to get another Sinner and Alcaraz final, which they met 3 times last year's French Open final, Wimbledon final, and U.S. Open final. Carlos has never won the Australian Open. But get this, he's also never been in the U.S. or the Australian Open final. Never been in it. So I feel like this has to be his year. This has to be his time to win the Australian Open. We'll see. That's my pick. Let's see. Oh, wow. Emma Navarro lost, the 15th seed on the American women's side. She lost to Magda Linette from Poland. I think I've heard of her before. 3-6, 6-3, 6-3. Speaking of Emma Raducanu took care of business. Okay, here's the Venus Williams match. She took on Olga Danilovic from Serbia. Venus won the first set, 7-6, tiebreaker 7-5, but lost the second and third set, 3-6, 4-6. I mean, I forgot to mention, I like to listen to these players' press conferences, and I was listening to Venus's press conference before her match. She said I heard that this was her first time in the Australian Open in 5 years. Somehow, I guess they gave her a wild card. That's great. She won that set in a tight one. 45 years old. That's very impressive. I don't know why she's still playing. To be honest, when her sister Serena retired in 2022, I thought Venus would retire with her. I thought both Williams sisters would retire together. But no. And Venus is older than Serena. I don't know what's next for Venus. I don't know how many years she has left in her. She's 45, a lot of players can't make it to 45 and still competing. Wow. Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova lost in 3 sets, 4-6, 6-2. I have to say it, 6-7, tiebreaker 12-10. That's funny how the 6-7 joke is so popular. That's a very common score in tennis. Yeah, 7-6, 6-7. I know. That'd be funny if you're the chair umpire and you do the hand gesture, 6-7. Okay, so that was Sunday. Now to Monday. Elena Rybakina, the 5th seed, who was in the Australian Open final a couple years ago. Wimbledon champion in 2022. Okay, here are two players that used to be really good. Karolina Pliskova, against Sloane Stephens. Pliskova won 7-6, tiebreaker 9-7, 6-2. I remember Pliskova, I think it was like in 2017, she was like the number one player in the world. Sloane Stephens won I remember she won the U.S. Open in 2017 against her great friend, Madison Keys. And speaking of Keys, she won her first match. Leylah Fernandez lost. The Canadian player. That's unfortunate. I've always liked her. So we got a couple of upsets on the women's side. On the men's side, we probably don't have any. Iga won. This match I was sort of watching. Donna Vekic against the 8 seed Mira Andreeva. Andreeva won. Lost the first set 4-6, but was able to win the second and third set 6-3, 6-love. Barbora Krejcikova, who won the French Open and Wimbledon, she lost 6-2, 3-6, 3-6. And that's about it for the Monday matches. There were a few. Okay, so today, January the 20th, there are some matches happening right now as I speak because it's in the middle of the night. Let's see here. Daria Kasatkina used to be Russian. She's now an Australian. First time she's an Aussie at the Australian Open. Naomi Osaka's in action. Katie Boulter lost to the 10 seed Belinda Bencic, 6-love, 7-5. And now the second round matches. Let's see if there's any interesting matches to me. Okay, so the French player Jacques Amote will be playing against Yulia Putintseva from Kazakhstan. I think it's the same country from Alina Rybakina. We'll see how the French player does after that 3-hour plus match, first round match she had. Okay, this is now the round of 64. Not really any interesting matches today. Tomorrow, Wednesday, January 21st, Maria Sakkari against Mira Andreeva. That's an interesting one. I just go by the names, to me, that I remember, because Sakkari, she's not seeded in the top 30, but I remember she used to be seeded in the top 10. Amanda Anisimova is taking on Siniakova from the Czech Republic. Siniakova is a fantastic doubles player. I think she won the doubles at the U.S. Open. Okay, that's it for the women's singles. Now let's go to the men's singles. We'll do the same thing. I really doubt that there's any big upsets other than the Felix Auger-Aliassime had to quit, unfortunately. They were showing Alexander Zverev, who was in last year's final, the runner-up, had to take on this very tall Canadian player, Gabriel Diallo. Diallo won the first set, 7-6, tiebreaker 7-1, and then Zverev won the last 3 sets easily, second, third, and fourth sets easily. So Zverev advances. Okay, so those are the Saturday matches. What the? Okay, I don't know why. I'm looking at these matches on Google. It's not loading. Okay, there we go. Monday or Sunday. Brandon Nakashima lost on the 27 seed, the American player. Marin Cilic. Cilic is one of the OG players now. Speaking of OG, I saw that Gael Monfils was in action. Stan Wawrinka, this is Stan's last year. Stan the man. This is his last year. He's 40 years old. From Switzerland, he won 3 Grand Slams. This is it. This is his final year. I don't know when he'll retire. Will it be after the U.S. Open? I'm not quite sure, but this will be his last Australian Open. He won his first match, so that's cool. I think he won the Australian Open against Novak. I think he did that one year. Lerner Tien. It's been a whole year since I found out about this dude. Lerner Tien won his first match in 5 sets. 5-set match. Alex de Minaur, the Australian, who is marrying Katie Bolter, by the way, in the summer, I think. That's what I heard. Riley Opelka is the tallest active player. I think he's 6'11". That's crazy. I wonder why he chose tennis instead of basketball. Daniil Medvedev. Last year, he lost the first round on all 4 Grand Slams, I believe. Finally, he won the first match of a Grand Slam. Carlos Alcaraz. Yeah, he got his old hair back, I guess. Remember at the U.S. Open right before his first match? He shaved his head. That was weird. Francis Tiafoe. The one thing I find kind of funny about Francis Tiafoe, he is entertaining, but whenever he serves, like, watch how he serves, the position he stands, the way he stands when he's about to serve, it looks like his ass is sticking out. He's got his ass sticking out when he's in his serving position. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Because, when you watch these players, you get to see how they serve. All right, that was Sunday, and now the Monday. Okay, I mentioned Gael Monfils, and unfortunately he lost. I've always liked him. He's also one of the older players, also entertaining. He lost in 4 sets. Let's see here. Ben Shelton. They were showing some of his match as well. He took care of business. Karen Khachanov. His first match was a win, but it was in 5 sets. Lorenzo Musetti is the 5 seed from Italy. He won in 4 sets. Novak Djokovic, he won his 100th match at this tournament. That is impressive. He won his first his 100th match. Yeah, his first match was back in 2005. When he was, 17? Now he's 38. He's won this 10 times. I would like to see him win this one more time. We'll see. He might be the 3rd best player. He just can't, it's when he plays against Sinner and Alcaraz, it's just too much for Novak, unfortunately. So, yeah. But last year, even though Novak couldn't go to a Grand Slam final, he went to the semifinals in all 4 of them. At his age, that's impressive. That is impressive. We'll see if he can go that far again, which I hope he does, because I think he's the greatest player ever. Okay, that was Monday, and now today there are some matches happening right now. Taylor Fritz, his first match is a victory. So not too many upsets. Some of the matches went into 5 sets, though, for some of the pretty big-time players. Okay, not really any intriguing matches today. Tomorrow, let's see here. I'm looking. See, I really watch women's tennis more than men's tennis because there's more upsets on the women's side. Oh, we got Denis Shapovalov, the Canadian left-handed player, against Marin Cilic. I'm just going by these names, the names that I know. Okay, that's about it. So there you have it, the Australian Open. It's just begun. It ends on Sunday, February the 1st. All right. Now, I know this is a longer episode because there's so much to talk about, but now it's time to say happy birthday. That's right. Birthday wishes. It's a new thing that I'm doing in this podcast to make it more entertaining. I save these for last of the episodes. I would do happy belated birthday, today's birthday, and happy early birthday for tomorrow. So happy belated birthday. Happy belated birthday to... First one. Or, no, there's only one happy belated birthday. So we got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 9 birthday wishes. I know. The reason why I'm doing belated birthday and early birthday is because I might not do this podcast next year. I might not do this next year. This could be my last year. Even though it's only my second year doing this, this also could be my last year. I know I said, when I started this podcast, my goal was to do this for a whole year or until the Super Bowl, which we are approaching. But I'll be back after the Super Bowl. I don't know if I'll do this for the rest of the year. I might. But I'll let you know in advance. From time to time throughout the year, I'll let you know if I'll keep doing this podcast or not. But if I make a decision, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore, then I'll let you know in advance. I'm not just going to say it at the end of an episode. All right, guys, I'm done. I'm ending this podcast for good. No, I'll let y'all know in advance, all right? But I'll extend this podcast after the Super Bowl. I don't know how long. Maybe after the World Cup. Maybe after the World Cup I'll be done. I don't know. But that's why I'm doing these birthday wishes, to make it more fun. So first, happy belated birthday to Ron Killings, also known as R-Truth. Okay? He is a professional wrestler, and yes, his age is 53. And what's crazy is that he looks the same. He does not look like his age at all. No, he's actually 54, because I'm looking at I get these from famousbirthdays.com, and I'm going to read the about. So Ron Killings, that's really his name, but he goes by R-Truth. American wrestler known under the ring names R-Truth and K. Kwick. He won a TNA World Tag Team Championship with Adam Jones in 2007 and the WWE Tag Team Championship alongside Kofi Kingston in 2012. Before fame, he began wrestling with the National Wrestling Alliance, an independent company, at age 25. He won the 2002 and 2004 NWA World Heavyweight Championships. That's a trivia. Family life, he married Pamela Killings on April 7, 2011. They have a daughter. Associated with, he defeated Mike Mizanin, a.k.a. The Miz, to win the WWE United States Championship in 2010. Yeah, R-Truth, I believe he made his WWE debut in 2008, because I remember, you guys know I like watching old wrestling, and a lot of times I like to read the Wikipedia articles on these wrestlers to see what they were like, how are they doing now, if they're still alive or not, and it's crazy. He does not look like his age. He looks the same from 2008. It's crazy. I remember he was on the Stephen A. Smith show like a couple of weeks ago. So that's great, yes. Remember, it was last year he got released from his contract after all those years, and what was it, like a month later he re-signed with the WWE. I don't know if he was like trolling or not, but yeah. Happy birthday to Ron Killings, aka R-Truth. So that was belated birthday. Now, today's birthday. Okay, oh, excuse me. All right. Okay, here we go. Today's birthday. The first one. Happy birthday to Francis Tiafoe. Yeah, I believe I just mentioned him. Yeah, the tennis player where he has his ass sticking out when he's serving. Yeah, it's Francis's 28th birthday. About professional tennis player who is ranked number 29 by the Association of Tennis Professionals. That stands for ATP. He had his first major win at the age of 14 at Le Petit Halle in France. He won the 2013 Orange Bowl at 15 years old. His Big Foe 1998 Instagram account features snapshots from games and photos with family and friends. He has amazed 800,000 followers. Before fame, his father was the head of maintenance at Junior Tennis Champion Center, which is part of the USTA Regional Training Center. It was there that he first began to play tennis and train. Trivia. He has done ad campaigns for Nesquik. He defeated Rafael Nadal at the 2022 U.S. Open. Oh, I do remember that. And I think that was Rafa's final U.S. Open match. I don't know, one of them. Family life. His parents are from Sierra Leone. Isn't that also a racehorse from a couple years ago at the Triple Crown? And emigrated in the U.S. in the mid-1990s. He has a twin brother named Franklin. Associated with, he was the youngest American winner of the 2018 Delray Beach Ocean, breaking Andy Roddick's 2002 record. Here's one thing I know about Francis. He has that Michael Strahan type smile. Yeah, I don't know. I think he still does. When I just watch his press conference, he might smile and see if he still has that Michael Strahan smile. But he is a pretty entertaining player, so I wish him well for the American. Next birthday is Nick Foles. Yep, Nick Foles, the backup quarterback for the Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles, when they won that Super Bowl 52. Yeah, that's your first Super Bowl you watched, 5-tayer. Nick Foles, 37 years old. Is he still an active player? I don't know. Okay, born in Austin, Texas. All right. NFL quarterback who was selected by the Philadelphia Eagles in the third round of the 2012 NFL Draft. He led the Eagles to the playoffs in 2013, then had brief stints with the St. Louis Rams and the Kansas City Chiefs before rejoining the Eagles in 2017. He helped the Eagles capture Super Bowl 52 in 2018, earning Super Bowl MVP honors. Before fame, he earned second-team All-Pac-10 honors in 2007 while playing for the University of Arizona. Trivia, he tied an NFL record when he threw 7 touchdown passes against the Oakland Raiders in 2013. He set an NFL record that same year when he posted a 15.5 to 1 touchdown to interception ratio. Wow. Family life, he grew up in Austin, Texas, with a brother named Marcus. He married Tori Moore in 2014. They have a daughter named Lily James and a son named Duke Nathan. Associated with, he took over as Eagles starting quarterback in the late 2017-18 NFL season after an injury starter, Carson Wentz. Is Carson Wentz still playing? He is. He's on the Vikings. Now, what about Nick Foles? It's funny because Nick Foles is older than Wentz. Nope, he's now a former quarterback. All right. You know what? I was actually glad the Eagles won that Super Bowl 52. I really I didn't plan on watching that Super Bowl, but when I saw the score in the second half, I'm like, wow, this is a pretty high-scoring game. So, and it turned out to be a very high-scoring game. So yeah, I do remember that Super Bowl quite well. That was probably like the last Super Bowl I really watched until last year's. The final birthday today is J.J. McCarthy. That's right. J.J. McCarthy, who played Michigan, quarterback at Michigan, and now he's the Minnesota Vikings quarterback. All right, the about quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings since 2024. And yeah, and he did not play at all in 2024 due to an injury. That was crazy. Before, he was the starting quarterback for the University of Michigan in 2022 after leading Nazareth Academy to the state title game in 2019. He was Illinois' Player of the Year, and then Florida's Football Player of the Year in 2020. He helped lead Michigan to a national title and a 15-0 record during his third season with the program. They won the College Football Playoff National Championship in January 2024. Before fame, he played hockey until early high school. He attended Nazareth Academy until transferring to IMG Academy in 2020. Trivia: Iowa State University offered him a scholarship before he even started his freshman year of high school. His football fame has led him to amass more than 650,000 followers on his J.J. McCarthy Instagram account. Family life: he was born and raised in La Grange Park, Illinois. His mother was a competitive figure skater. He got engaged to his long-term girlfriend, Katya Karapas, in January of 2024. In March 2025, they announced they were expecting their first child together. Wow, and he's only, 23? He's already a father. Associated with, he plays for head coach John Harbaugh, or he played for Harbaugh. Other Michigan Wolverines Harbaugh coached, who are now playing in the NFL, include Hassan Haskins, Devin Bush Jr., and Aiden Hutchinson. So this really was JJ's first season in the NFL. Vikings, they had an okay season. That's really all I can say. They had an okay season, but they're in a tough division too. NFC North is a tough division. Okay, that's happy birthday today. How about early birthday? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we got a lot of birthdays today. Sometimes it's like this. The first one I have that I found. Happy early birthday to Laura Robson. Laura Robson, a former tennis player who is left-handed, from England, English tennis player who turned professional in 2008 at the age of just 14. She reached the fourth round of the 2012 U.S. Open and the 2013 Wimbledon tournament. Before fame, she won the Wimbledon Juniors Girls Championship right before turning professional. Trivia, she won silver in the mixed doubles competition at the 2012 London Olympics for Great Britain, playing alongside the great Andy Murray. Family life, she is the daughter of Andrew and Kathy Robson. Associated with, she and Andy Murray entered as the wild card pick for the 2012 Olympics for mixed doubles. A wild card pick, and they were able to get into the gold medal match. That's amazing. Well, now Laura is no longer playing tennis. Recent years, she has been covering tennis on, I believe it's on Eurosport. But I think Eurosport, they merged with TNT Sports, because she would be at the Australian Open as well as the French Open. And I think the U.S. Open as well. I don't know about Wimbledon. Well, I think she would be at Wimbledon too, because she's also, from England. But she would be a reporter, and she's got a very nice voice. Very nice voice. And she's also left-handed, like me. Alright, so that's the first one I found. So her birthday's tomorrow, on Wednesday. Second one, Jonathan Quick, former NHL hockey player. I don't think he's playing anymore. He's now 40. NHL goaltender who received the Conn Smythe Trophy after leading the Los Angeles Kings to a Stanley Cup championship in 2012. He was selected to his first NHL All-Star game in 2012 and won his second Stanley Cup championship with the Kings in 2014. Before fame, he won the NCAA championship with the University of Massachusetts in 2007. Trivia, he won an Olympic silver medal with the U.S. national team at the 2010 Vancouver Games. Family life, he had a daughter named Madison and a son named Carter with his wife, Jacqueline Quick. Associated with, he won Stanley Cup championships with All-Star center Anze Kopitar in 2012 and 2014. I actually do remember the LA Kings winning the Stanley Cup in 2014 against the New York Rangers. I wanted the Rangers to win, but LA was too tough. LA was the better team, and they got the game-winning goal in overtime in LA. So they got to celebrate the Stanley Cup, winning the Stanley Cup in their home city. And I remember when they won the Stanley Cup that year, some player or players, they actually took the Stanley Cup to Dodger Stadium, and they showed it to the greatest baseball announcer of all time, Vin Scully. So that was awesome. Next birthday, Brandon Crawford, former baseball player, 39 years old now, MLB shortstop who helped the San Francisco Giants win World Series championships in 2012 and 2014. Before fame, he played college baseball at UCLA and was drafted by the Giants in 2008. Trivia, he won a gold medal with the United States during the International University Sports Federation World Championship. Family life, he got married to former college gymnast Jalene Crawford on November 26, 2011. They have 4 children, Braylon, Jaden, Braxton, and Bryson. Associated with, he became teammates with Tim Lincecum on the San Francisco Giants in 2011. Yep, I do remember when the San Francisco Giants won the 2014 World Series against the Kansas City Royals. I wanted the Royals to win, but the Giants won in 7 games in Kansas City, Kauffman Stadium. And I do remember Brandon Crawford with the Giants. You know, the Giants, they won 3 World Series in 5 years. 2 more birthdays, early birthdays. The next one is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, golfer people still talk about and will talk about forever, is Jack Nicklaus. Yes, I've heard of Jack Nicklaus. He is now 86. And he is about revered professional golfer with 18 major championship wins, nicknamed the Golden Bear. I did not know that was his nickname. Before fame, he was a football player at the Ohio State University. I also never knew that. Trivia. He was voted the 20th century's best individual male athlete by CNN and Sport Illustrated in 1999. Family life. He fathered 5 children with Barbara Bash, whom he married in 1960. Associated with, as Tiger Woods began piling up his major championship wins, he received countless comparisons to Nicklaus. Yeah, him and Tiger will go down in history. And I do remember Tiger Woods winning the 2019 Masters. That was awesome. And Scott Van Pelt, at the end of the year, he would say the best thing that he saw of the year in 2019 was Tiger Woods winning the 2019 Masters. Obviously, Jack Nicklaus was before my time, but, when I watch sports, I'll hear about these fantastic former players from the old days, and in golf, it would be Jack Nicklaus. And I think he can still play. I think he can still swing a golf club at his age, which is very impressive. And didn't Vern Lundquist had that call in the old days where he would say when he sunk in the ball in the hole, he would say, "Yes, sir." I think that was Jack Nicklaus. I know that was Vern on the call, but I think that was when Jack Nicklaus was playing. Oh, yeah, good old Vern. Oh, Vern will also turn 86. I know his birthday's in July. He will also turn 86. Oh, yeah. They've known each other for a long time. Last birthday is Maryse Ouellet. She is the wife of The Miz, Mike Mizanin, the professional wrestler. This is her 42nd birthday from Montreal, Canada, her birthplace. Known as the stage name Maryse, she is a Canadian WWE wrestler, glamour model, and former WWE Divas champion. She also serves as her husband's manager. Before fame, she was a model and won the Miss Hawaiian Tropic Canada competition at the age of 20. Trivia: she began her WWE career by winning WWE Diva Search in 2006. Family life: she has 3 sisters. She married fellow wrestler Mike Mizanin, aka The Miz, in February 2014. They welcomed their first child, Monroe Sky, in March 2018. In September 2019, they welcomed their second daughter, Madison. Associated with, she lost her WWE Divas Championship to Eve Gracie in 2010. So, yes, Maryse can speak French because a lot of people that live in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, can speak French. And I used to take French classes growing up for 10 years, from like kindergarten to 8th grade, which is kind of crazy, right? And that's one of the reasons why I became a Montreal Alouettes fan, okay? On the CFL. And yep, when I started watching the WWE in 2017, I remember the Miz and Maryse were together, and they had their own show. They had their own reality TV show called Miz and Mrs. You can probably search that up on YouTube. I watched that for a while. It was kind of funny. And yeah, Maryse doesn't wrestle anymore. The Miz, I think he's about the same age, maybe a little older. He doesn't wrestle as much, but I heard the Miz, I think he just got RKO'd by Randy Orton not too long ago on SmackDown. But yeah, Maryse, she was a WWE Divas champion. Back then they called the Women's Championship the Divas Championship. They called them Divas back then. They don't call them Divas anymore. Now the women's roster in the WWE is bigger than ever. Because, you know, I love watching the old wrestling. The old wrestling did not really have any fantastic female wrestlers. But now they do. They have their own roster. It's awesome. But yeah, the Miz and Maryse, they are perfect for each other. So there you have it. Just wished a whole bunch of birthdays. And yeah. Oh, one last thing. Speaking of Canada, I love watching SportsCenter with Jay Onrait. Okay, the TSN SportsCenter, because I find that more entertaining than the Canadian version. He's like the Scott Van Pelt of TSN SportsCenter, because he does the show by himself. He has no partner with him, and he'll have, like, you know, special guests on throughout his show. And, you know, TSN, they had they showed the CFP National Championship game on their network, right? So I thought Jay Onright's got to talk about that game first, but no. The first thing they showed was hockey, because hockey is Canada's favorite sport. And there was a goalie fight. There was a goalie fight between the San Jose Sharks and the back-to-back defending Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers. What's his name? Bobrovsky? Oh my gosh. He went after the San Jose Sharks goaltender, and like, oh my gosh, that's kind of rare. That's unusual. Seeing a goalie fight. Oh. Yeah, that happened the same night as the CFP National Championship game. And then they started showing other hockey highlights. And then they eventually got into the CFP National Championship game. I don't know how many Canadians were watching that game. Probably not many. But they can show it. Because, you know, TSN is really... basically, it's the Canadian version of ESPN. Alright, guys. This was a much longer episode. I know there was so much to talk about. But the next episode, I think it'll be a lot shorter, because it's mainly going to be me previewing the 2 conference championship games in the NFL, which will be on Friday. So yeah, it'll be a much shorter episode. Alright? So once again, congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers. To end this, let's play the college football theme song. There we go. Season's over. And to be honest, I'm glad the season's over.
Yeah. It was a great season. Quite interesting. Even though I didn't really watch many bowl games. This was like the least amount of bowl games I watched, but I mainly followed the playoffs. So yeah, I'm happy, glad that Indiana they finally won. They finally did it. They'll be talked about. This Indiana team will be talked about forever. Thanks for watching. See you on Friday. This has been KSN.